Many hellos, you're tuned in to the Rewind Guys podcast, the show where we watch, discuss, and rate old movies, new movies, movies that defined our childhoods, and others we've never seen or even heard of before. This week I'm doing things a little bit differently since the quarantine has posed itself quite an obstacle to get together and do recordings. So this week I'm offering you guys this alternative episode. In the very beginning, before we were Rewind Guys, we were nothing more than family, friends, and in some cases, total strangers. So I got us all together for a practice recording to make sure our personalities were going to mix well, and to be sure that everyone was going to feel comfortable in a recording setting, sitting in front of a microphone, and hearing their own voice. Even though the recording went great, and I really did want to try and turn it into an episode, it just wasn't going to happen. We had technical difficulties, the audio was very poor, the recording situation wasn't ideal, so you're going to hear some background noise here and there. But all in all, it was a fun episode for us. The movie was actually a really good movie, and whether I like it or not, this will be good to add to the archives. So look past the background noise and excuse the poor audio, because the Rewind Guys are about to be born.
Quite a good scene, isn't it? One man crazy, three very sane spectators.
Welcome back to the Rewind Guys podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Andrews, joined by Mike Andrus.
What's up?
Russell Andrews.
Welcome to Walmart.
And Isaiah Page.
Welcome.
All right, today we're talking about the French film Holy Motors. It was directed by Carax. It stars Denis Lavant as Monsieur Oscar, Edith Scob as Celine. It's a fantasy drama released in 2012 and has a runtime of 116 minutes, but if you're like me, you'll be confused in the first 5. Russell, you chose this movie, so give us a quick rundown on what Holy Motors is all about.
First of all, I think all of the names were probably not pronounced right.
Oh, yeah, probably. It's Denis Lavant. Is that better?
I have no idea. What's the movie about? Is that the question?
Yes.
No, I don't know.
100%.
It's such a difficult movie to put kind of one definition to for me, because every time I thought I knew where it was going, it kind of was not going in that direction. So I guess a more literal explanation is it's about a guy who lives in a car and is kind of a weird actor in life.
I was thinking about that because when the movie first started and he walked out of that big house, I thought that was him waking up and starting the day. I think he was getting off a job.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think he ever went home or came from a home.
Oh, yeah. So
Like
I
by
didn't
like
catch
the
that at all.
end of the getting close to the end of the movie, that's when I was like, maybe that was never him to begin with. For that was not his life.
Yeah, not at all. Did anybody catch the beginning of the movie? Because this is something I didn't notice until the second time. When the guy wakes up, that is not Mr. Oscar.
I caught it on my second time watching.
Same thing. I caught it the second time.
Right at the beginning,
The very
where
beginning.
he was very confused and he had a key on his finger and went,
Yes.
bust out the door.
Yeah, I thought that was Mr. Oscar. That's a completely different person.
I had no idea who it was, and I feel like we didn't see him after that. That was it.
Yep, that was it. That's the only time you see that character. And then we cut to the theater that is essentially... Are the people sleeping? Are they dead?
Oh, I thought sleeping for sure.
Okay, because that was kind of my go-to, was that they were sleeping, but then I read online that some people were questioning if whether or not they were dead. So that I was curious as what you guys thought about it.
I wasn't sure. I thought I saw people adjusting themselves in their seats, but maybe it was just my mind just seeing a movie theater, and that's how people, function in movie theaters.
Then we enter Mr. Oscar, who walks out of this big fancy house. Okay, and I'm a stockbroker, businessman of sorts.
The wiki had him labeled as a banker.
Wait, yeah.
Wikipedia's never been wrong.
Yeah, of course. No, Wikipedia is dead on.
I don't know if we want to roll forward to that point or if we want to wait till we get there.
Which part?
There was the scene where he was on his way to an appointment. He just got out of costume, but he told her she needed to stop the car. because there was a guy.
Yes.
And he said, banker, pow, now it's done. That's what tells me that he was a banker.
But like, it's so weird though, because he had, did he or did he not have bodyguards? What banker has bodyguards?
Well, maybe
Crooked
they were.
one?
Well, I guess.
Maybe they were just lunch friends. Really masculine,
Armed
thug-like.
lunch friends.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So short ride later, he gets all into costume because he's in this limousine, which is driven by the character's name is Celine,
Yeah.
and it's pretty much like his mobile dressing room. And he comes out and now he's like this hag, and I think this is probably the shortest one of the appointments that he does. Right? He just complains as the old lady, like all she sees is like the sidewalk and her feet, and that's it. Moves on.
Yeah, because we had
so
the
short to throw you off.
Yeah, because even he had the bodyguards up until that point, and once it hit after that point, then when he got back in the limo, bodyguards were gone.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I thought that was weird too. Why were the bodyguards with him that entire scene?
They were there all the way up until he became the old lady. After he was done with that appointment, followed him back to the car, and they were gone. After that, you never seen him again.
All right. Well, I don't know. I was lost. Like, well, again, the whole movie just had me kind of confused, but I didn't understand why the bodyguards were with him that entire time. But then shortly thereafter, goes straight from that to his next one where he's this motion actor. What the hell was with that lock? Did you guys catch that? How it unlocked?
Some sort of nose hair.
Yeah, he had to pluck a nose hair.
I just reminded me of like Secret Agent, like DNA scanner type crap. Like,
I know,
but at the same time, a nose hair. Like,
yeah. Well, at first when I kind of seen it, I kind of took it like he was breathing on something. Like I didn't really catch it, so I rewound it, and he takes out tweezers and puts a nose hair in it, and then he's good to enter.
So you don't put nose hairs in your lock before you unlock your door?
Nope, not usually.
Oh. Well.
Although maybe that should be a thing, so it would keep everything in check up there.
Mine's still full of nose hairs at this point. I can barely get in.
Huh,
But no,
and-
I actually really liked the that whole scene where he was doing that motion acting.
Yeah, that was
I thought
really cool.
Probably the best part of the movie for me.
That was very felt like after a certain point where that I don't know how to describe that scene because
it felt like an entire shift. It went from I was kind of like I think I can figure this movie out, and then at that scene I was like I have no idea where this is going to go.
It's like a very interpretive sexual dance after halfway through the mocap scene.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, sure. What am I watching? And then it shows it on the screen in the mocap. I'm just like, okay, this is what they're doing.
Yeah, well, and then because it starts off really cool, like you see, like obviously, like all the like white dots and like how it's lit up looks really cool. And then he's in front of the screen when he's on the treadmill, and all that looks really awesome. But then when the female actor comes in and they start doing this interpretive, like crazy sexual dance, I'm like, okay, all right.
Just the odd noises they were making though here and there. It's not even necessarily the grunts. The grunts I kind of got, but just the weird tiny gasps here and there, and you're just like, it's like, yeah. Like usually that stuff, you're just like quiet stuff. It's like, oh, that's pleasing. No, this is uncomfortable. I need to stop hearing this. Scene's over. Good, we can move on.
And I'm sure there's messages and symbolisms everywhere, but most of them. Oh yeah. I'm a simple guy. I'm not picking up on any of this so far. What came after? Oh, is that my favorite one?
The crazy guy.
Oh, I love the crazy guy.
That was definitely my favorite.
Like when I watched that scene, and like he got there, and when he ended up biting the woman's fingers off, but it's like that whole scene up to that point where you seen it and the woman, I'm just like, is that who the hell I think it is? Because it's like this is the big American scene for this movie, but I'm just like, I know that actress. I'm like, I can't put name to face.
Eva Mendes, which I thought was
That's
really
what it
weird because when the movie started and that came up on the credits, that one in
Kylie, I can think of her name.
Kylie Minogue. Oh my god, I cannot stand her.
Something.
Yeah, but we'll get to her in a second. But this whole scene was hilarious to me because I love when, and I'm sure it's probably like a stab at like maybe fashion, but I love when he's taking pictures like beauty. Yeah, and he's Sammy's like weird.
Jimmy.
Beauty!
Harry.
Beauty!
Harry.
Beauty!
Harry.
Oh, monsieur. J'ai reculé. Reculez.
No! Hasselblad.
Weird.
So weird. It's so weird. Weird.
Did anyone catch on all of the tombstones? It was check out my website is what it said in French, basically. Like it was a link.
I did not.
Yeah. On the it was like check my website, and then at the bottom of the tombstone was a link to a website on almost all of them.
No, I missed that completely.
Did you
Yeah.
go? Did you go?
Did you?
I didn't think to actually try going to one.
We should pull up some pictures and we should look at this.
Yeah.
Whoa. No, I didn't catch that at all.
Yeah, it was one of the weird little details I saw. I was like, because he was stopping to eat the flowers from each one, and
Yeah.
I loved that part.
But you know what I did catch? I did catch him licking Eva Mendes' armpit with his bloody tongue.
Yes,
Oh man,
that was
hot.
The way she acted through that entire scene, like the way she acted was like, I don't care.
Yeah,
It's like
that was
I would
really
have
weird.
been really disturbed and been like, go away.
Yeah,
But
no.
she's just like, I'm like, okay.
Then they go back. I thought they went back down to the sewers, but it looks like a cave.
yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
how they got from point A to point B there.
From
Like,
sewer to cave.
Then there, he rips part of her dress off to cover her face, and then he gets naked and does. Oh, he didn't do a dance or anything, did he? I can't remember.
No, he yelled at his penis. At least that's what it looked like.
Oh my god, that's right. He did. He did. And then he like freaked out, and she sang like some lullaby or something, and
And
he
he
went
went
to
to
sleep. Yeah, he went to sleep. His entire back was like tattooed a giant black square.
That was. I saw
don't even
that.
remember
I was
that.
just like,
Seriously?
I was
like, we
thinking.
both missed that. Like,
If I knew what to look for, I'd pull it up for you and show you. But it was like this. I thought it was like he's like, does he have a fur patch or is he growing mold?
Maybe. But yeah, that whole like appointment or whatever they're referred to was my absolute favorite. After that one ended, is that when he was picking up the girl, or is the next one when he's like that thug hitman kind of thing?
I can't remember at all how these went in order.
yeah, I remember them all, but I don't remember what order. I think you are right with picking up the daughter.
Well, I guess, but that's the thing, is if you keep the beginning the same and you keep the end the same, I feel like you could mix up everything in between and have the exact same movie.
Yeah, nonsense.
Yeah.
But was it just me, or did it seem like the interior of the limo kept getting bigger and bigger
More crowded
and
stuff.
bigger? It was like every time they showed it, it was like more of a house and less of a limo.
Yeah,
Because he
no.
could like when he was moving from back to front. Like I understand you have a little bit of space, but it's like he could so close to where he was almost standing up when he was walking through.
Yeah.
It's like that's barely even a crouch guy.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you're
It
right.
kept getting larger and larger as the movie went on. I think. I don't know.
Huh.
It's like the TARDIS.
Okay, yeah, no, but I didn't even catch that, but I think you're right. I think it did get
If you
bigger.
look back at the first scene where he's the banker and he gets in, it's just a regular limo. There's almost no room in the back.
There's just
Yeah.
he just pulls out
And-
this side mirror and that's it.
Huh.
It's like,
All right, well, we're going to assume the next one is he picks up the girl. Again, I don't think it really matters, the order, but
picks up the daughter.
yeah, he picks up the daughter, which is, and this is where stupid Kylie Minogue comes in, because guess what song they're playing at the party? The song I can't remember the name of right now. That stupid
Yeah,
song.
Oh, that song.
I can't get you out of my head. Go figure, right? That's the song. The only song I think she's known for. The only thing I think she's ever done in her career. I hate it so much.
I don't even know who this person you're talking
Yeah,
about
well, you don't want to know. But of course, they're playing the song, and then he picks up the daughter.
No, but he's gonna look it up later.
Yes, it's gonna be your favorite song.
Her?
What?
Isn't the daughter her?
Who? No,
Kylie.
no, no. That's just some young girl.
I thought she had a more of a role in the movie from what the
She
credits
does.
said.
She
I don't know
comes
where
in.
she comes in. I don't know what she looks
I'll
like.
yeah, no.
there was like his
I-
daughter thing later, but
Yeah, no,
We'll get
I'll-
to that.
I'll point out where she is,
Yeah.
but her song came out. That particular song came out in like 2001, I think. So yeah, no, she's older.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, so he picks up his daughter, and I guess apparently is disappointed that I don't know if he's failing her, if he feels like he's failing her, because he seems really depressed. But she's not social enough.
she wasn't social. She didn't do anything in the party. She basically went in and hid in the bathroom the entire time. She said that her friend left with her mom, and that she had a fun time and danced with this boy and that boy, and it was all her friend. Everything that what happened,
Right.
So she just hid in the bathroom, put some glitter on her head, said bye.
Right. But her lie is discovered when her phone goes off playing the same stupid song.
And she refuses to answer it.
Yeah. So the dad finds out and he's all disappointed. They arrive at the house. He drops her off. She thinks she's gonna be punished, and his whole like thing is no. Your punishment is you just have to live being you, which is like harsh.
Be you. Be boring.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Your punishment is you're the worst person in the world, and he drives away. And yeah,
Where are you going? For a drive.
yeah,
For a disappointing drive.
man, yeah, it's pretty
You need a
harsh.
wink and a smoke after this.
So then I think I might have, like I said, maybe I got these backwards, but then he's the hitman guy. This threw me off.
I think it was the hitman who was next because that's when if it plays out right, I think that's the where he shoots the banker after.
Yes. Okay.
So that would make sense.
All right. Yeah. So then he's this hitman type guy, and I was, oh man, if I wasn't already confused, shit hits the fan right here. Because he's killing this guy whom even after I see this other character come into the scene, I'm like, oh, that's him again. And so he essentially has a fight with himself, stabs himself in the neck, which I like that scene because the neck stab was really nonchalant. There's like no build up. It's just like he just
turned around,
him.
donk.
Yeah. I was like, oh wow, that was really weird. So then
do it.
the guy falls down, he's shaving his hair, and he's making him look like him, but he's not dead. Twist, he gets up, and there's another sweet neck stab.
It's the exact same spot.
Yeah, exactly. So he gets back in the limousine, and this is where the banker part comes in.
Actually, there's one more part there that, as he's walking back to the limo, what got me was he's walking back, bleeding out, looking like he's barely going to make it. And as soon as he gets in the limo, he just sits up perfectly fine. Never happened.
Well, he just killed himself twice. So he's fine.
Yeah, it's like...
My
makes
question
sense.
is they both looked the same, even though they're both different people, but they both looked the same. So how do you know that the guy...
Yeah,
he didn't
I thought
actually
that.
die and the other guy got up?
I think they're both the same.
Yeah,
person.
I think so too. But I do believe there's one way you could tell that apart. And looking back on it, I don't know if I can remember who was who. The one that went in had a scar. The one he killed, he had to cut his face. So there would have been a fresh cut on the face if the other one walked out.
Because he was peeling the scar makeup off in the limo during the scene.
Oh, okay. So then the
Yeah,
original
okay.
one that
So,
went
yeah.
in is the one that made it out. Yeah. So then, yeah, he gets back in the limo. They take off again. And I didn't even realize that this tied back into the very opening banker scene. But they're driving. He flips out because he sees somebody sitting outside of like some cafe or something, puts on a mask, grabs a gun, walks up to him, shoots him, and then a bunch of bodyguards just like waste him. That scene finishes up, and I think there's two more scenes. There's two more scenes. One that's one of the appointments, one that's not. The first one's one that's not the appointment because they get an offender bender with another limo.
The scene,
right?
That one happens after the next scene, because that's the next scene is where he goes as the old man into the hotel.
Oh, that's right, the uncle. I forgot about that.
Because they meet at the hotel and then they meet after on the way.
This is the scene where I thought I kind of started to understand it.
Yeah. Yes,
This
exactly.
scene, one of the scenes that made me mad.
Especially at this part because he's playing the dying uncle and then he dies. But then he's like, okay, well, I got to get out of here. He's got other stuff to do.
He got another appointment.
Yeah, he's got another appointment. And then the girl's like, yeah, okay. And like everything's cool. And apparently she's an actor too. Mm-hmm. So here's the deal. Now we have two actors acting in a room where there's nobody else. What's the point? Why even be there at all?
I think that's a very interesting societal point of view that we could really delve into very deeply.
Nobody's actually themselves.
Right.
Everybody's trying to play a part instead of
Right.
being who they are.
Exactly.
That's deep right there. That's deep. We
Well,
got deep.
well, I'm sure there's like some serious deep meanings here. Okay, I'm not analytical. I'm not smart. I don't know things. So I'm looking at a lot of this, especially the first time around.
I think midway
face value.
through, that was a part to think is anybody really not an actor in the movie? Obviously, it's a movie, so they're all actors. But if you're looking at it as the logic of the world of the movie,
I thought you were being a smartass. But I thought you were being. I thought the same thing. No, I thought the same thing. At this point, I was almost led to believe that everybody in this world is an actor.
yeah.
Yeah, because throughout the limo the one time, he, boss, I'm going to assume, was in the limo.
Oh yeah.
It was like, do you like your job? Because you don't look like you're enjoying it anymore. Because I'm assuming before this life, he was an actual actor, but because the cameras are so small now and this and that, I'm just like, what is good? That's another thing that threw me off. Like, I don't get that. That was I think, happened, I want to say before the daughter scene is when the guy showed up.
Oh, yeah, I think you might be right.
I remember that scene, but I can't place it.
Yeah.
It was so quick.
It was like, what? I think like not even a 5-minute scene, and you're just like, and then he's gone. But it's like, I feel like it is to a crucial, it's a bit of a crucial point because it's like, it's where you kind of feel him break down a bit because he doesn't feel it anymore. Granted, he enjoys doing it, he just doesn't feel it.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh, well, kind of poor guy.
I feel like we skipped a scene.
We probably
It
did.
was one of my favorite scenes.
Oh, which one?
The intermission, the musical intermission.
Oh, yes. that was awesome.
Oh, because that was what?
I was like right around the gangster guy, like, wasn't it?
Because you're talking about when she sang that song?
No, like when they
With
all
the
came out
like
the-
accordion.
yeah, the accordion.
Yeah.
That whole, like, yeah.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, he's like in his limo,
Oh.
and yeah. So backtrack. He's in his limo.
Okay.
He looks at a piece of sheet music, and it says like the French word for like intermission, and you just cut to this sweet accordion like breakdown. I mean, like they were getting into it.
I think that was that one. I think was in between the gangster and then the daughter because
I
that
think
was
you're right.
was your halfway point. And granted, that was cool. I liked that.
And it was-
I
that-
forgot about that,
And
but now
even when it was going, I'm like, I was like, man, I hate it when they do that shit. Where like you're listening to the music and they're legitly playing the accordions, supposedly whatever. And like there's drums out of nowhere. And as they're walking, like, oh no, there's a drummer. It's like just walking with this whole drum set. I'm like, sweet. I think this is really cool.
My question is about the intermission. Was the intermission an actual intermission from the movie? Or was the intermission an intermission from his job? Like, was it actually part of the movie and not a break from the movie? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, oof.
Yeah,
Like, did
was
it
that
have
an
a point
appointment,
other
or
than
was
just
that-
being music?
I don't know. I just honestly, I guess my take on it was that it was literally just an intermission of the movie. Like you're watching all these stories. Yeah, take a break for a second. I mean, I'm sure there's more to it than that.
Because
but-
it was kind of connected to him in the limo and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So that's, something I was thinking about.
because maybe that's that point. Like if it was in the French theaters where it's like, all right, you can get up and get your popcorn or get some drinks if you need to refresh and
Right,
come
yeah.
back because you have like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I just took it like a break between stories, but it was connected to him in the
Right.
movie. It's like he legitly did it. He did it, man. He did it good.
Maybe it was to
He did.
fool you into thinking it wasn't connected to the stories. I don't know.
Okay, so let's kind of finagle our way to where we were before a little bit here.
I think we were just starting to talk about the adventure.
Oh yes. Which-
Yeah, that's actually everybody was derailed for just a moment.
Was the fender bender before or after he met with that woman?
No, this is where he meets the woman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, because she's in the other one,
Right,
and
right.
we're led to believe, obviously, she's an actress or actor as
Okay.
well.
I feel like though, where the uncle scene, I feel like he met her there, and then met her back up that at the in the fender bender. So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
because when he
I
walked
thought
up the
the
car,
same
he
thing,
said
but I don't
the
think
old
they're the same people.
because when he walked up to the
thought
car,
they
he
were.
said "dying old man," and she's like, "Oh yeah." So that's why I
Was it?
think
Because
They got
I
moved
kind
when
of-
they're both leaving that scene together.
I kind of felt that I had seen her before in the movie too, but I couldn't place it. But that makes sense.
because like I said, when he said that's where he just came from, and she's like, "Oh," like she acts like, "Oh, we just seen you there." All right.
Oh, I love this. I love this because this makes my rock solid theory
Even harder.
yes, it makes it.
yeah.
It makes it so
See,
hard.
There was a hole over here. Now it's gone.
Yes,
There was a
I know.
blemish, but it just we smoothed
Yeah.
that out.
It was a little flaccid start, but now it is on
Yeah,
point.
It is, which is great. Okay, so yes, that lady is Kylie Minogue or whatever.
Okay.
Minogue. That's her.
Okay.
So they talk. They go into it's a old department store, right?
Yeah.
Something like
They're
that.
renovating into a new hotel.
Yes, luxury. Oh, I forgot my favorite part. It's so stupid when they get in the fender bender. What does she say? Celine, his chauffeur says, she goes, ectoplasm on wheels, like that's for slander.
Yeah, ectoplasm.
And I'm like, okay.
But what is ectoplasm?
It's like residue from spirits and things, right?
Yeah, because maybe,
Ghost goo?
yeah, because maybe that's again kind of a hint to what's going on.
Yeah, and that goes right full circle to my theory. But we'll get to that.
But that fender bender though.
Yes.
Literally. And when she got mad about him coming out, it's like, honestly, I don't know what the rules of the road there are over in France or whatever. But if you're turning, we go straight. We get to go straight first. You gotta wait. No, I'm turning. I get to go. Like, oh, that's why you got to an accident.
Yeah. So they chatted up a little bit, and they reminisce, I guess, about quickly over the past 20 years. Is that what they said?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna assume, like I said, they either seen each other before this life, or they had an acting part together for a while.
Okay.
Or
But
maybe
it's like he was talking about how he bought her like underwear and whatever. I was like, so I'm like,
yeah.
they had to have either been together for a while or had a part, and they connected, but because of what they do, they had to split. That's my theory on that. That scene though, like I like it, but I hate it because that's the only time throughout the entire movie where they say they have a connection to each other. You don't learn any time later.
Oh yeah, no, nothing.
Earlier, nothing. That's it. I'm like, there's questions and information I'm missing. So I feel like that scene is good, but I'm lost with what the information they give you. And you're just like,
yeah, you don't get much. I don't think you get much information of anything. But I love when she busted in the song and because they're on the 3rd floor, she starts singing and she runs to the railing. When I first seen that, I thought she was gonna jump over. I thought she was gonna jump over. Like, oh, that would be so cool.
she's gonna
This
jump.
song at all.
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily think the song is super memorable, but yeah, she's singing and she's in like full sprint to the railing
Stop.
and she stops.
She stops on a dime.
Yeah, she saved that jump for a little while later.
Oh yes, she did. Yes, she did. So, because once they finish up there, she's meeting up with somebody, and Oscar has to get out of there like ASAP. And as he's walking back out to the limo,
It was weird that he hid from the other
Yeah.
acting in the scene, like they couldn't see each other. It's like, would that ruin the scene? Would that just not fit?
oh maybe,
I think it would have ruined it. It would have ruined the illusion for the scene.
yeah, it makes sense.
Granted, that ruined his night. That whole scene ruined his night.
On the way back out to the limo, she's on the ground next to the guy that was meeting up with her, and
No, the question
little
is,
guy.
did they jump? Did they fall? Were they pushed? What happened?
well, I'm assuming she jumped, and maybe he tried to save her. I mean,
By
maybe
jumping after?
Well, no, maybe he
Is
didn't
it a
jump.
parachute?
No, but where she was, if he tried to lean and missed, I don't think he's got a whole lot to try and catch himself. So, I mean, I assumed
Or he pushed her. And she grabbed on.
no. I took it. She jumped, and it's one of those things where I can't live without you. You know, whether or not that happened, I don't know.
I don't know,
I
man.
was so upset because if it was anything like the previous scenes, she's just gonna get back up, get in her limo, and be fine.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
But that was the one scene I happened to see something about online is everyone was saying that was her quitting. It was her ending her acting career.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
because
was
she
so
said this was her last scene. That's what she said when she was going into it, or something above the other. Because she said this character's gonna die. Pretty
Oh.
much. She said that leading up into it.
That does make sense because I kind of wondered why he freaked out so much too. And I get like, you know, anybody who's like truly like, you know, upset or whatever, they just react the way they do naturally. But I was kind of cracking up. He's like, he just kind of like arms kind of flail like in a like Naruto kind of way to the
full out scream sprint. It's like, all right, sure.
back into the limo, and we're on to the last one, right? The night
Is it?
I'm sure it's not the last one, but it's the last
never
one.
even begin.
Yeah, it's the last one for what we're seeing, and so the night's winding down.
Yeah, he was getting drunk and smoking in the car, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, you gotta wake up."
Is that what she says?
Well, she was trying to get him up because they were almost to his last job.
Okay. And did they almost hit a pigeon or was it a dove?
Pigeon?
Pigeon?
She said, he said that they needed to have a laugh before midnight. They needed to laugh before midnight.
And that was what made him laugh.
Was the pigeon?
Was the pigeon. And he gets to his final destination.
That wasn't what I was expecting when they got there.
Yes. Really cool looking neighborhood. Love the houses. It's really neat. And apparently his wife and children are chimpanzees.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. I was like, oh, he married monkeys.
He's living the dream.
But
He's living the dream.
But my question is, was that really his end of his job without him going home?
I don't think so.
Or was that just?
I don't think he ever goes
Yeah,
home.
Because she's like same time in the morning, or he said same time in the morning, and she's like, "Yep, I'll see you then." And I was like, "Oh, so that
Because-
means he's getting picked up again for the next
Yeah, because
days
it's
of job.
morning already.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I took that was him going home the first time I watched it because when I was talking to other people about it, they're like, "Oh yes," and then we find out he goes home and this is how he lives. But after watching it the second time and keeping that in mind, I don't think it's how he lives. When he's on the way there, he's literally looking through the
Yeah.
file saying, "This is where you live. This is your family." Like,
I
no.
think that the way he lives is the entirety of everything he's doing in the
right,
movie.
exactly.
There is no like end result of, oh, I can't wait to go home. I can't wait to live my life. All of that is his life.
Right, yeah.
Also bring that back to
His
the very
life.
first scene where he's the banker getting picked up in the morning. It could just be that he has each night his new home that he goes to get picked up from.
Right. But then now Celine takes the limo to the parking garage where we see
This is one of the other
the parking
things that
garage,
irritated me.
Holy Motors.
Hell yeah,
The name of
Now-
the movie.
The garage is called Holy Motors. Oh, so this is why the movie's called Holy Motors.
Yeah.
Because of the garage.
I know. He texted me yesterday, and he's like, "This had nothing to do with cars." Like,
I assume cars. Like, I get told, "Oh, it's not what you expect it to be." Okay, but my brain still sees Holy Motors, cars. So it has to do with cars somewhere in there. You're in a limo, but that's it. I'm like,
yeah.
nah.
Okay, so she parks the car in the garage, and there's some weird things that are happening. I didn't notice this until pointed out because I'm dumb. But all the other limo drivers are dudes. She is the only female driver.
She probably has a penis.
Maybe. But yeah, all the other limo drivers are guys. She's the only female. And before she gets out, she puts on a mask. And only after everyone else left.
She
Then
puts on
she
a
gets
mask
out.
and makes a phone call. I'm coming home.
Yes.
Like, ew, what?
Yeah. So again, there's stuff going on. I don't know. I don't know what any of this means.
That whole
Yeah,
ending
sure.
scene threw me off because I'm like, I don't understand. Because yeah, she left, and if I don't know if you guys watched all the way up through, but after she left, she closed up, and the car started talking to
Oh
each
yeah.
other.
Yes.
And I was like,
And then Disney Pixar Cars
Yes.
just started up, and I'm like,
I'm just
Yes.
like, this movie, I'm like, I just like, there's that, like I said, that, and then the scene where she sings and they talk and whatnot. Those are the two biggest scenes where I'm like, I am missing some information. I feel like we're missing something big. Unless it's all just part of something, I feel like we're missing something big here.
But yeah, and then it's weird too because I think all but one speak English. I think there's only one that speaks French.
It was Oscar's car is the only one that spoke French.
Oh.
One of them had a Russian accent. But beyond that,
Oh.
they all pretty much spoke English.
But
It's
yeah,
like there was other accents, but the only Oscar's car spoke French.
and they were literally talking about metaphors. And then at the very
People are
end,
becoming obsolete.
Yeah.
I believe what they're talking about.
yep, they were talking about becoming obsolete, and they were talking about the metaphor, the Rolling Stone gathers no moss, and all that stuff. And so yeah, they're like, yeah, that's metaphors and blah blah blah. And then they literally end the movie with all them saying, I think is it all or just one that says Amen, and the movie ends.
I think they all said it. Didn't
I thought so, but I wasn't 100% sure.
is there like a goat in here?
Cat. Is it dying?
Yeah,
cat?
I gotta be fair with the end too. Like the whole time I'm on the edge of my seat, and then with the chimps, I was like, okay. But really, when the car started talking,
It's
when
like-
the car started talking, I was like,
This is,
fuck
a
it,
this is a Disney Pixar
Anything's
movie,
going.
all right?
I'm out.
It's a no holds barred.
I'm out.
Oh wait, okay. So let's talk about this then. So you didn't like the movie?
No, I thought it was a good movie, but like the end, I just didn't. I don't want to be one of those people like, oh, the movie sucked because I was too stupid to get it.
Yeah.
I was too stupid to get it.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, like, I guess that's the only thing, and I hate to be one of those people too, because you don't have to understand the movie to think it's a good movie.
Right.
But that does bring it down a little bit because I have no idea.
So what's the big thing, man?
Oh,
theory.
no, right. You guys have
I've been
nothing to
waiting.
share. You guys don't want to talk about like what you
I
thought it
could.
was.
I mean, you know.
I mean, like again, I think the whole movie is just nothing but nonstop metaphors and symbolism, and I think because apparently the director of this Leos Carax, I know I'm destroying it, but I guess
Wait,
like
is there an X at the end?
there
Isn't it
is
supposed to be silent,
I
like Lacroix?
maybe Leos LaCroix. I guess he's very artistic. He's like very poetic. So I'm sure everything I'm sure has a reason for existing in this movie. I bet you if you really watched this movie 100 times and researched all these old things you were finding, the headstones, the square on the back, and a bunch of other things I'm sure we've overlooked, you could probably be picking stuff apart like
oh yeah, for sure,
forever.
Yeah, but I think as a whole, you know what, it's just really symbolic of life, the way that the way I see the movie. So, all
right, let me tell you what this movie's about.
Hear it.
Okay, the movie, Holy Motors, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That rock solid, smoothed over, polished. This is the shiniest of all the turds. This is what's gonna save it.
I rest my case. No. Holy Motors. The end. Even when you see it, almost has like a surrealistic look to it. They even end the movie saying "Amen." So obviously, there's some spiritual
limos are Jesus.
Yes. No.
Oh my God.
there's spiritual heaven and hell elements at play here, right? Okay. These actors, I'll tell you what they are. They are ultimately the Grim Reaper. Everybody we see them play, they die. They all die. They're all dead.
Well,
the banker ends up dying.
Everybody
the old
dies.
man died. His thug died.
Well, the hag or the one with
The hag was-
Eva Mendes.
Yeah. Yep. Allow me to explain further. Okay. Now, yes, we don't see the hag die, of course, but she's talking about how miserable her life is. All she sees is the cement, the feet, whatever. What we don't know is the moment the camera is no longer on her, she dies. Okay. All right. Far-fetched. It's gonna get more solid as we go. Okay.
He's gonna solidify this.
Motion actor, right?
Okay, this is the one I was going to go to next.
Motion actor.
sexed to death.
That guy. Yes. No. They're wearing like some pleathery suits. He could have been suffocated. No. Okay. So here's the thing. You think, hey, this guy's in like peak physical performance. He's not going to die.
Aneurysm.
Wrong. Because he jumped off the treadmill because he was getting dizzy. He doesn't have a moment to rest because now the female actor comes in and he just continues because that's what he does. He's professional. Camera leaves, he's dead. Okay?
As soon as it leaves.
So, well, maybe not as soon as we leave, but we can assume.
Where's the camera?
We can assume he died. Okay?
Yeah, no.
Moving on.
How do you know it left?
Yeah.
The camera's so small, you don't know where they are.
No, I think it's probably on camera somewhere, but in the director's edit, this is what we're seeing, okay? So now, moving on. He picks up the girl. He's disappointed in her, maybe how he raised her in his own life. He's like, he drives off saying like, I'm not going to ground you. You're just going to have to live with yourself. Live with what you've made him do. Because the moment he drives off, dead. I hope you enjoyed your time with your father. He's gone. Never going to see him again. Huh?
What about her?
Who died?
Did she kill herself from depression?
Ah.
The girl?
Yeah.
She doesn't have to die. She's not an actor. As far as we know.
No.
No. In this movie. No. Bear with me. Bear with me.
I gotta say no.
No.
No. What? No. This is under the assumption only the people being carted around in limousines
How do you
from Holy
know?
Motors.
But how do you know?
Well, I don't. That's a theory.
Just
Bear
because
with
you
me.
didn't see
Bear
her
with
get
me.
dropped off.
Yes.
Some of the people didn't see him get dropped off.
That's true.
Companies with actors like Bolly Motors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah,
there's
Bollywood.
Okay,
Oh.
but
maybe there's Hades Motors.
In my theory, not everybody's an actor. So bear with me for a second. Give me a
I
second.
hate your theory.
I'm
already.
gonna strengthen
Finding
it.
all these holes.
I'm gonna strengthen it. Okay.
Theory's a limp noodle.
Here's what we got. Now, he's playing the dying uncle, right? Obviously, this particular character dies. He's playing the dying uncle, right? He's with, apparently, Kylie Minogue, who stated later on, they're both actors in the scene, they know each other, stated later on that she just lived out the last bit of that person's life. Then, she's now with this meet up with this guy. What's she do? She kills herself there as well. Okay? So she's an actor. She's dying. Okay? I think that they embody... They're not just putting makeup and stuff on pretending they're people. I think that's more or less like to represent a transformation. They're embodying these people for their last moments of life. They are Grim Reapers.
How do you know they're not always embodying someone? Why does it have to be just for the last few minutes? Just because that's what they show?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty much what my theories are based on.
So they just show the end, so it must only be the end.
And just put it, what about Chimp Daddy? How did he die?
Chimp Daddy.
Seriously?
Well,
Look at his life.
I was gonna say, until they get picked up, you won't know.
He can't even get a woman. He's just like, I live with fucking chimpanzees. And he's looking up at the stars like, Lord help me. Here he goes. And
I took it as he's looking up there thinking, I'm gonna get some of this tonight.
Maybe. But yeah, I think that, and yeah, they're not going to play every waking moment of these people because essentially, if they are the Grim Reapers, they only show up at the last moment of your life. They collect your soul, for the most part, whatever. And I think that's what it is. All the actors die, man.
I don't think they're the Grim Reaper collecting any souls. I think that they are the soul, and I think that by him not actually having a himself, because who is this guy driving around? What if him driving around is an actor? And obviously, yes, it's a movie, so he's an actor. I get that, but I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
What if somebody's playing him, playing other people?
Oh.
There is no self to him. He doesn't exist as his own.
So is this Turtles all the way down?
It is Turtles all the way down, and I think that maybe it's that for every single person in every single scenario throughout the whole movie and all of the time.
Silence. Le vieux 5700 BC 78 a dit la vérité. Les hommes ne veulent plus de machines visibles.
Oui, ne veulent plus de moteurs, ne veulent plus d'action.
No more action. Is he serious? L'action. Can't be true.
Amen.
And I took it as Celine, which is why she's being so secretive and waiting for all the guys to leave, whatever. I think she's God. And I think she has a Princess Jasmine complex, right? Where she doesn't want to be in the palace all day. She wants to go out. She wants to leave the pearly gates, all right? So that's why she waits for all the guys to go and put her mask on before she exits because she doesn't want anybody to catch her, right?
Why she's the only woman.
Exactly, because especially lately...
The only one probably wearing a mask.
Right. Because especially lately in media, that's how they portray God. And they use the pronouns he or she. They use pronouns he, and that's why she's a woman. They use the pronouns she or her. And in other movies, they depict the woman as God.
When do they use the pronouns of she and her for God? Because normally it's he. In biblical.
No, I'm just talking like in movies and such. I mean, you figure,
Dogma.
Dogma's the most,
Granted, that's what, 20 years ago?
Well, yeah, and I can't remember the movie,
15.
but there's been,
I don't want to make anybody feel
Whoopi
old.
Goldberg played God in a movie, but I can't remember what one it was. But there's been other TV shows and there's been other movies where they'll use she or her for God.
Plus, when I think of God, Morgan Freeman is the only person that could obviously ever be God. So
Well, of course, but
that's why it's so hard for me to wrap my head around
just
that.
perfect for that. What if Morgan Freeman actually is?
A woman?
Well, I, mean,
I can only hope.
But if Morgan Freeman is, that's a conversation for another time. But still,
He has the perfect God voice, but that doesn't mean God's not a woman with that voice.
that would be no.
To find a woman with that voice is to find my dream.
That's like you get this hot
cream
chick
thing.
and all of a sudden gets a Seth Rogen laugh when you tickle her, and you're just like, oh god.
Whoa. Oh. So let's rate this movie. Mike, if you were to rate this movie, what would you give it?
I don't know. I enjoyed the whole movie. I think just as watching it without trying to figure it out, I give it like a 7 out of 10.
All right. It's a good rating.
I enjoyed the whole thing. I wasn't bored sitting through it. I'd watch it again.
Russell?
I give the motion acting scene a 10 out of 10.
It's that scene right there.
That's
Yeah, you love that
That's
scene.
the defining
good.
moment for that movie.
no, I mean, I would give. Wait, so 1's the worst, right?
Yeah.
10's the best.
10's
Okay.
the best.
I want to make sure we're not doing some.
Give him this number one. No.
I don't know, because if 10 is the best, then you have to think what is the best movie, and then it has to be lower than that, unless
Yeah.
this is the best movie.
I guess if this is the first one we're rating, this is pretty much setting the bar.
They definitely rated it way too high then.
You think so?
I mean, I think I'd bump down to like, if you really are looking at it as 10 is the absolute best movie ever, I think I'd bump it down to a 6.
Okay.
I gotta say 6. I think 5 is average, is an average good movie that I'd like to watch. And because of that one scene, we're gonna. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm gonna have to. I say a 6 is probably pretty good. I think that's a good number for arbitrary numbers.
Yes. Fair enough. Isaiah, what do you give it?
Honestly, I want to say about like maybe it's based off of my experience of just like in school being in theater and portraying characters at haunted houses, and just the fact that it inspired me to work for my characters that I'm working on. But I enjoyed it. I loved it. I thought it was great. Granted, it confused the living hell out of me, but I thought it still was a great movie. So I want to say about like 7.5.
Okay.
I thought it was a good movie. I actually enjoyed it. I would recommend it to someone else. I tried to tell my girlfriend she should watch it because it was a good movie.
I'm going to give it a 7. I was going to rate it a 7. Here, I don't have much that I hate about this movie. Again, I feel like you can watch it, take something new away almost every time, or discover something new. I don't think it suffers any like pacing issues because it's just like 4 minutes shy of 2 hours, and it doesn't seem like 2 hours to me at all. And I would definitely watch this movie again. I mean, I wouldn't watch it like all the time. I don't think it's one of those movies, but yeah, I like this movie a lot.
It's a good movie to pick up when you just feel like watching something. It's like, check it out.
That is going to do it for this week's episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening in on the conversation. But you know what? You can do more than just listen. That's right. You too can be part of the conversation. Find us online at Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Rewind Guys Pod. That's REWGUYSPOD. Or email us at REWGUYSPOD@gmail.com and let us know what you think about this movie or any movie we've reviewed here on the podcast. Hope you had a good time and hope to see you next week. Stay safe.